My acting career. My good old non-existent acting career. I think it was about 3 or 4 years ago when this nightmare started. Now, lots of kids at that age were really shy, or they didn't like being on a stage and performing. But I would, if I got the chance, I would literally stand at the front of the classroom and freaking belt My Chemical Romance. Other songs that were totally normal for an 8-year-old to listen to. The point is, I absolutely adored performing. So much so that when I went to relatives' houses, they'd always at one point ask me to sing something, and I would have no idea what to sing because all of my songs were regular songs for an 8-year-old to listen to. But as much as I loved performing, I was never really in anything because my school didn't really do stuff like that. We did performances during holidays and stuff where we just sing, but not really like a play or anything. So, my sister was in musical theater, and let me tell you, she can sing. Like, seriously. She can literally hit every single note that Brendan Urie can, and yes, that is what I'm comparing it to. So every spring, they would do a musical. And this year, they were doing bum ba bum ba bum Shrek the musical. You know, that one thing that was on Netflix for a super long time, and I was probably the only one that ever watched it. Ooh. So on the off chance that you've seen it, there's a musical number that shows Fiona growing up in the tower, starting at 7, and then it skips ahead to when she was 16, and then it skips ahead once again to when she's an adult. So there was no one short enough in the high school musical theater class to be able to play the 7-year-old version of Fiona. So the teacher asked the class if they had any siblings or anything. And my sister raised her hand and she said, I have a sister. She sings. So my mom picked me up from school, and like we usually did, we dropped off my sister for her rehearsal. But when she got out of the car, my mom was like, well, are you going? And I was like, why would I go? And then she said, for the audition. That's not how she said it, but yeah, for the audition. And I was like, what? Okay. So we got out of the car and we started walking in towards the building. And my sister, can I just call her? Okay, Meg and I just started walking towards the building, and I asked, "Okay, what am I auditioning for?" And she said, "Oh, you're auditioning for the young Fiona from Shrek the Musical." And I was like, "I know him. That can't be." I'm kidding. I didn't know Hamilton at the time. So we went in the building and we met in the choir room, and me, my sister, and a bunch of rando high schoolers I didn't know sat down and watched, I almost said High School Music, Shrek the Musical. So after we watched it, we chose the parts we wanted. We went up to the teacher and we said, this is the part I want. It was pretty obvious what part I wanted because I was a child. My audition was different than the others because they actually knew how to audition. I just sang Happy Birthday and literally spoke the lyrics. I didn't sing, I spoke them. Looking back on it, it was probably because she thought that I didn't know the lyrics. But I did. Because I had watched it frickin' 10 million times. Honestly, though, I could have just auditioned with regular things an 8-year-old listens to. But anyway, I got the part by literal default, and thus began 4 months of rehearsals of me having to wear a beard because I didn't mention this before, but since I got such a small part and there was also a part that required someone to be short, I had to play the Grumpy the Dwarf. Yeah, I was kind of being a baby about that because I didn't want to play the dwarf. And I was unprofessional. But, it's 8-year-old me. What can you do? I became pretty good friends with the cast, or I thought I was friends at the time, but They were probably just being nice to me because I was a kid, looking back on it. But yeah, I had lots of fun with it. My music teacher actually came to see me perform, but she came to see the spring performances every year. And after the show, they had a thing where you could talk to the cast, get like a poster signed, stuff like that. It was really cool. It made me feel special. And this teacher literally walks up to me. I'm still in the Fiona getup, and she says, "You did a great job playing the dwarf." And I'm like, sir, where did you get that information? Because I was really embarrassed about it. But yeah, that was my first experience with real acting, I guess. I mean, probably not real acting. But yeah, just acting on a stage. And soon, when this whole quarantine thing gets over and done with, I'm auditioning for Gabriella from High School Musical. Even though I kinda sorta hate High School Musical, but I don't care. Beggars can't be choosers. So, yeah, thanks for listening to this short little, story time. Story time? Story time? I don't know. This short little, video about my not so acting career. Anyways, wash your hands, stay safe, and stay room temperature.